Phoenix Down Radio is on the air.
Welcome everybody to Phoenix Down Radio, episode number 100 and that's why we're not showing up. 162, I believe. And there we are.
There we go. Click the button, Klaus.
I forgot to pop out the Discord video. So there we go. Now we're in there. This is what happens when we're too busy trying to troll Seyrr pre-show. This is why you need to tune in live at twitch.tv/Phoenix Down Radio when we do the show.
Hear these people be horrifying straight bachelors.
I'm your host, Klaus Nightbringer. Joining me is the birthday boy, Seyrr Timono. Happy birthday, Seyrr.
Oh, thank you.
And how have you been, sir?
Not too bad. Like, today was a pretty quiet day, but most of the stuff that I'm planning to actually do is on the weekend. Some friends are doing a beach bonfire, and they made a cake for me and the like, so I'm looking forward to that.
Very nice.
Also, nothing can be worse than the one I had 2 years ago, because my birthday was the day that everything closed down in 2020. It is going to be hard to be worse than that. Not impossible, and I do not want the universe to attempt to prove it, but difficult.
Well, it can't be all that bad. You get to spend it with us.
Yeah.
Here doing a podcast. We're going to be playing some video games a little later on in the show. A little Chocobo GP, which was just released end of last week, I believe. And,
sounds about right.
We have some a lot of game and community news to talk about. But first, I want to say a huge thank you to our Patreon producers, Nick Nar, Aurori, and Tibient. What have you been up to otherwise since the last episode, Seyrr?
Trying to remember, like, honestly, part of it is that for the library, my department went back to in-person stuff, so everything's just been kind of a blur from that. I am not actually sure the last time I logged into FF14.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's just been a lot happening. It turns out that when you're full-time, they expect you to work like every day.
How dare they?
The worst. Completely unreasonable.
And then there's me who just, a couple weeks ago just started working the majority of time from home again. So that's kind of nice. In fact, I got to work today from home, even though, I have the next 2 days off because I'll be going to Anime Detour tomorrow. I am so excited. I have been waiting to go to con for 3 years. And it's just
been such a long time for all of this.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I learned that one of my favorite things about Detour, the con suite, is going to be closed, but for good reason. Because of the whole COVID's still a thing, and there's still mandates in place. They need to be very careful when it comes to public spreads of food and things like that. So.
Oh man, you thought con crud was bad before,
right? But I mean, we're going extra prepared this year. We're bringing lots of vitamin C. We're bringing hand sanitizer, masks, bringing lots of water. Yeah, it's gonna be, we're really
don't overdo it.
But still gonna have a hell of a good time.
You know what helps your immune system? Getting enough sleep.
But who wants to do that when you've got all night anime watching parties and room parties and things like that?
I mean, fair.
A lot of people have not had the opportunity to socialize with their fellow geeks. Like I said, the last time we did this was 2019. So, I mean, there's a lot of catching up to do here, Seyrr.
I get it. Just like, don't overdo it.
But
Take care of yourself.
Sleep, shower, and stay hydrated is the biggest thing that I'm going to be making sure to do. Everybody else who's going to conventions coming up in the future, please make sure to do the same. Be safe.
Which, I mean, good
fun.
advice in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. But, when you're thinking more about all the fun you're going to have and all the different things you're going to do, just make sure to take care of yourself first, and then you'll go home a lot happier. Aside from that, that's basically all I've been thinking about for the past month is going to cons. So,
I mean, it's a pretty big one.
And doing a concert on Friday, and there will be a small meetup with a few people. Nick Nar and Crispy from the Discord is going to also be there with his wife, and we're going to be going to see a New World Final Fantasy. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. Ooh. It's the third time I'll be seeing them, and it's just amazing each time. So it's nice to see live music happening again as well. So
I remember the other thing. Spender taught me how to, because I did manage to clear P1S a couple times. Taught me how to look at FF logs and XIV analysis to see how terrible I am. I wasn't even running it, but someone in the party was, so they got records about me.
Yep.
Apparently, I keep forgetting that gap closers are for damage and not for closing gaps.
Are you gray parsing and getting called out for it?
No one was calling me out for it, and technically I was not the worst DPS, though the white mage did beat me. Okay, at least part of that was because I died.
And that's fair, but again, remember that you don't, your parse does not define who you are.
I mean, a little bit.
But you know, how everybody, it doesn't maybe defines how everybody else thinks of who you are, but
yeah.
I'm kidding. Yeah. I'm kidding. It's part of the...
I had never looked at one of these before. It's kind of fascinating to see just how much data it all gathers.
There is a lot of data. I mean, I haven't run a Savage in a long time, but a lot of extreme trials would people would run their FF logs for that, and I've found my character parses in there, and yeah, it's not pretty, but you know what? I play the game to have fun, not to parse it in purple.
The main thing I appreciate is there's some analysis tools that focus a little on what are relatively easy things that you can do. Yeah. Like it noted that I'm decent at actually keeping Surging Tempest up, and so that's something I want to keep doing. But it pointed out a couple issues, just like small things that if I pay more attention to would help out.
Yep. If you're using it for your own personal, betterment, that's fine. But if you're using
what if I'm using it to look at Spenders and poke him about it?
That's perfectly fair because he's your best friend.
There we go.
As long as you're not, trying to tear down a complete stranger about their gray parse, you're fine.
Yeah, I did more damage than him, but he was a scholar, so.
But he kept your ass alive.
Mostly.
So, except for that time you died. But that was your fault, bro.
Actually, yeah, that was the other tank's fault, but there was still nothing he could have done about it.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and jump into that gaming community news. Speaking of some new Final Fantasy games, Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin goes live on Friday, March 18th. And early reviews of the game are definitely mixed. It's currently sitting with a score of 72 out on Metacritic, which, if you're not familiar with that, is a game review aggregation site. They take a whole bunch of reviews from not only the large game journalists out there, but they will also take user reviews as well, and they'll aggregate those into two different scores. So it'll give you an idea as to how well a game, is, because some people may like it, some people may not, and this will give you a nice average of that. But some individual site scores. RPG Fan scored it as an 87. Twinfinite, IGN, and The Gamer all gave it an 80. GameByte gave it a 70, as well as GameSpot and Game Informer. Those game sites sure like to give it a 70. And then some site called PlayStation Universe. I think I maybe heard of them somewhere at some point. They gave it a 65.
They were not as much of a fan.
Apparently Gary didn't like it all that much. Well, he did and he didn't. It was one of those, again, a mixed bag, because there were certain things that he really did enjoy, but other pieces just did not sit quite as well for him. So...
yeah, I've been hearing that also from some friends who have been playing with it. That it's like, it was everything it was promised to be, and at the same time, not really what expected. And it wasn't something where they hated it, but
I will probably end up picking it up I'll probably get it on PC so I can really take advantage of my my computer hardware and play keyboard and mouse. Maybe it'll resonate with me a little bit easier because the demos that I played on the PlayStation, I had difficulties with the control scheme. That was my biggest gripe on it, and the fact that they said kill chaos every 5 seconds. So
The meme potential was there.
yeah. But I mean, otherwise, people have been enjoying, what it's supposed to be. There's a lot to that game, and there is currently a new demo out for it. That'll be live for a little bit until the game releases. So if you want to give it a try, your progress does transition over into the full game if you decide to purchase it.
That does seem to be a thing for a lot of game demos in general, that it effectively is the full game, but with a bit stripped down, and it allows you to carry it over.
Yep.
I imagine that makes making the demo easier, too.
Exactly, because they're just pulling from the gold copy, but just for certain pieces of it, and then the rest of the game will join in with it when you download it and purchase it. So yeah, there's a bunch of Final Fantasy XIV news as well. Little Ladies Day is currently live until March 31st. Let me copy and paste this into the chat. It's a very stripped down quest, which I understand. They are busy working on 6.1 right now. But it's also kind of cute, and once you complete the quest, there is some additional content that will give you a laugh, definitely. So you can get your peach and your cherry confetti. And have a smile at the same time.
We're at the point where we've had these events repeat enough times that, like, the fact that they do have a original story and little thing going on with it each time is reasonably impressive in and of itself. At a certain point, I would just run out of ideas of what to even do with it.
I agree. It is, but like I said, it's just very simple. You have just a real quick quest. You talk with some townspeople. You do a fashion show. And then you get yourself a little crown. And then you're done. So takes just a few minutes of your time. So if you're one of those people who has to do everything, just get her done. It's not so bad.
I do appreciate not having quite as many insane demands on my time.
Yeah. I mean, not every event has to be like the... what's this? The Moonfire Fair, where you have this, elaborate jump puzzle that you run through, and
I appreciate that there are some that are a little more elaborate and involved, but I also appreciate that it's not all of them.
Yep. Understood. Also going on right now is the Mughal Treasure Trove, and that is going until the release of patch 6.1 sometime in mid-April. At this point, you can, if you missed out on it the first time, the Mama Shiba earring is available again, along with a bunch of other items like the Tamamo headband, from the Foxy Lady Fate chain. A bunch of various mounts, some glamour items, and some housing items as well. There's some really cool things available there. What I'm going for, so I don't have to go farm up in Suzaku Extreme anymore, is to get that Euphonious Kamui Fife, as well as the Controlled Chaos hairstyle, so I don't have to spend all my Skybuilder scripts on that.
Well, I'm not quite sure what I specifically want to get. The thing that caught my eye in the items would be the 3 late Allegan sets. These are the PvP sets that have kind of the futuristic tech suit appearance to them. This time around, it's the Maiming, Striking, and Scouting set, which are all pretty much identical, just with color variations. So your melee DPS jobs can have that super technological appearance.
Metal Gear.
I personally am waiting for the casting set, or either casting or healing set. But it's kind of nice to see some of those other PvP sets showing up in there.
Yep. So, like I said, it's something to get people running main scenario roulette again, some PvP.
It's the usual thing. Like, it pretty much comes as part of the pre-patch lull as, hey, here's a little something to do to keep you enticed to come on in.
As well as help the new players get through some content that might have longer queue times because everybody else has gone through it already. Or for the people who want to level up alts and, run Cinematorium before it gets completely redone in 6.1, which we'll talk about later on. Apparently, after patch 6.08, there were some issues with the Steam client and people having issues signing into the game. Apparently, they found that the issue revolved around players who had non-alphanumeric characters within their username. The system was not designed to handle that, but they found where they could fix that and have since patched it, so people can now get signed in. So if you are a Steam user and we're still having issues, you should be good to go now.
If not, let them know, but sounds like they've gotten a lot of the major issues taken care of.
Yep. At one point, the temporary fix was to change your Steam username so it only contained alphanumerics. Well, I mean, Steam names, you can have a lot of random character sets in there, so...
No, absolutely. Like, it's designed under a different type. Anyways.
It's just kind of odd that that would keep people from being able to sign into another system. All right, recording part 2. I will try and splice these together somehow. We'll figure it out one way or the other.
Yeah. If you need me to record some extra audio for the bridge, let me know.
No, we're good. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll get. Anyways, so we did have live letter 69.
Nice.
Obligatory, nice. Oh
yes,
my God.
I know it hurts you even more because we had to redo it.
Oh. As always, big shout out to Nova Crystallis and Gamer Escape. Your coverage of the live letters really helps us sift through a lot, a good, clear understanding of everything that was covered. So once again, big shout out to you. We love you guys.
Yes,
You're doing great work, and thank you for it. So patch 6.1, Newfound Adventure.
All about? I know what's going on. I've been pasting the wrong chat, fucking wrong link in chat. Let's do it this way.
Patch 6.1, Newfound Adventure, will be releasing mid-April. We've already heard a bit about some of these aspects. Tataru's Grand Endeavor, the new role quest culmination. One that I had not seen before was he mentioned in the patch 6.1x series of Omega Beyond the Rift, which has been created to bridge the 6.0 main scenario content involving the Omicron with the Omega Raid series. I actually really appreciate that they are keeping an eye on those old stories and going back and doing the extra work to integrate them further in. Really makes it feel a lot more like a complete story there. Bit more about the Dragon Song's reprise, new Ultimate Duty. Masaki Nakagawa, Mr. Ozma, was the one who designed this fight. He's done a lot of Final Fantasy XIV content, said that he put everything he had into this Ultimate Trial.
So you know it's going to be brutal.
Yeah, very much looking forward to watching that World First race. They talked a little bit about job adjustments, saying that they're going to have more details in the second part of the live letter preview streams. Yoshida noted that when you've got an Ultimate Raid being released as well, you kind of want to avoid doing any large-scale changes in the jobs. The last thing you want is having that Ultimate World race while people are also trying to figure out, okay, what does our rotation look like now? It's just messy all around. So just for the sake of the players, they try not to make too many large-scale changes at that point.
Yep. So it's something that they're going to make some minor changes. They're going to see how the job balance works at this point, and they will continue to make adjustments in the 0.05 patch, the 0.2 patch, and throughout the game to make sure that everything runs as smoothly as possible without creating any weird issues.
Various other things. Data center travel is currently slated for patch 6.18. Continue to await that eagerly. More and more people I know have been getting into the game, and they've ended up on a variety of data centers, so really, really looking forward to finally getting to join up with them.
Just remember, though, this version of data center travel is only for the physical data centers, so we will not be able to travel over to the Japanese data center or the European data center or the Oceania data center. We'll be able to only go, for those in NA, I should say, we'll only be able to go to Primal, Aether, and Crystal.
Various other updates. They mentioned that a lot of those role-playing type items, mounts, emotes, fashion accessories, hairstyles, that they're going to be separating those into their own market board section, as well as giving an option to filter it to show only items that you haven't obtained.
Yep.
So collectors are going to have a much easier time with that. It's a small quality of life change, but I know the amount of time I've spent going through lists trying to maintain checklists and the like is just aggravating. So I'm really glad that they're adding that feature.
And it's going to be called True Endgame.
I mean, it is.
I mean, I'm not wrong.
No, sorry, I was just thinking about if I ever did get around to getting that parasol. I'll worry about that later.
Yep. Also, there looks like they're going to be adding in some more New Game Plus, patch 6.0, and a little bit of 6.1 are going to be in there right away. New hairstyles for Hrothgar, which is nice to see. Glamour plates. We're going to be getting additional glamour plates. So if you have used up all, what is it, 14 or 15 of them?
15.
I believe they're adding 5 more.
5 more to bring it to 20. They're also changing it so that they're usable in more places, not just in the major cities. It sounds like any sanctuary location, so any of those safe locations around in Aetheryte, you'll be able to use glamour plates.
Because how many times have you gone and teleported to a location because like an S rank popped, and you realize when you get there that you're on the wrong job, so you quick change, but the glamour plate that was assigned to that doesn't change with you, so you look all kinds of wonky.
Yeah.
Come on, glamour is true endgame. You got to look good when
they
you're
know what the
those
people
ranks.
want, and what the people want is to be able to wear the appropriate costume at any time.
Exactly.
Some of those improvements to Realm Reborn MSQ they mentioned.
This is extensive, and I'm surprised that they are taking on the entirety of 2.0 at this point.
I imagine this is something that they've been laying the groundwork for quite a while.
Yes, I mean, it sounds like they are going to be not only putting trusts in all of the 4-man content for the 2.0 version part of the game, which is all the leveling stuff, the story trials, and things like that. They are completely redoing Praetorium, and I believe Castrum, and I think they're going to be redoing the if I heard correctly, they're going to redo the fight with Ritizen at Cape Westwind.
So yes, Cape Westwind will go from being an 8-person trial to a solo quest battle, which I really hope they take the opportunity to give back some of his former glory. Like, the man rose that far in the Garlean military apparatus. He needs to be a bit more of a force to be reckoned with.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was nice to spoilers. It was nice to see him a little bit in some of the Endwalker storylines, but.
But then Castra Meridianum will become a 4-player dungeon. The Praetorium is being split into 3 duties. Most of it will remain the same, but then they're sectioning off the Ultima Weapon fight and the La Habrea battle into a 4-player trial and a solo quest battle, respectively. As part of that, the main scenario roulette will be adjusted to have 3 different options: Castra Meridianum, the Praetorium, and the Porta Decumana, which would be the Ultima Weapon battle. They had actually considered removing main scenario roulette entirely, but these dungeons are still longer than normal dungeons, even if they're shorter than the previous versions of them, so that main scenario roulette does give you a bit of an extra reward for doing them.
Which is good. But you're no longer going to have your Netflix and gain tomestones or level up.
I mean, probably still a bit, but that's life.
I do plan on running them when they go live, though, because I do want to see how the changes affected everything.
They mentioned that the trust system for 2.0 and for the later stuff is actually going to be called duty support. That trust is going to refer specifically to the system where you have those scions that you're able to level up and do all that with.
Because mine are still stuck back in, what's the name of that place on the first?
Holminster Switch?
Yep, that's the place.
Capped mine off.
Even all the
We
way
have
up through
different
the dead
priorities.
ends? Even all the way through the dead ends?
We have different priorities.
We do. But though they did make changes to how they level, and it's much faster than what it was when I was giving it a try. So you don't have to run it 27 times to get a level.
They did also note that although this was something they discussed, frequently the scions are not conveniently gathered on the various places you journey. You don't happen to have all of them waiting outside Toto Rock, for instance. So for the most part, the NPCs accompanying you will be Adventurers Guild NPCs or Grand Company NPCs, like kind of generic soldiers or adventurers, depending on which duty it is specifically.
Why not just tell them to pray return to the Waking Sands?
Well, speaking of prey returning, they are adjusting Helk Manor, so after that second boss, there will be a teleporter rather than everyone needing to use the return spell.
Which is nice.
Yeah. I was honestly kind of amused to see that one. Talked a little bit about data center travel. One of the things mentioned was, so right now when you travel to another data center, you have that wanderer tag for your instead of your free company. If you're traveling to a completely different data center, it will be a traveler tag. Other than that, the same restrictions as the world visit system are going to apply. Free company chat, cross-world link shell chat, PvP teams are going to be restricted.
I wondered, did they ever mention, if you happen to have a character on another world and with the same name, if you happen to go visit, were there be any issue? All right. So, part 3 of the episode starting now. What a night! What a night! But hopefully, the restart of the computer will have fixed the issue. This is why all you aspiring podcasters and streamers, do not upgrade OBS and then just leave it. Restart.
Yeah. Probably for the best.
For the best. Well, we'll see, if as long as it doesn't crash for the rest of the episode.
Yeah. But since you were asking, having people with the same name is something that happens right now. You might have a character on Hyperion who has a particular name. You go to Excalibur and they have someone with the same name. This is part of why the names now show the server that they're on, and why to send a tell to someone, you do have to include their server name.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So that adds an additional part to their name.
Yep. So yeah, it'll be the same thing, just with the server appended. Entertainingly, apparently there's some stuff like when you're doing the role-playing segments where it says you will be playing as such and such. It throws some weird exceptions if it turns out that your character has the same name as an NPC.
I thought they disallowed that.
There are a couple weird edge cases for it.
Oh, maybe like a new NPC potentially?
Yeah, I think Graha Tia was one of the big ones that it happens with. Because, you can't restrict Tia as a Mikote male name. And I think there were plenty of people who had the name back before he became that important of an NPC.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, they did also mention that it's going to be a little bit more involved than world travel, not something where you can just go up to an Aetheryte and go to a new one, that you would actually need to back out to the title menu in the character select screen to access that data center travel.
Yep.
It's a bit more involved of a process.
Well, that's what you have to do if you want to go to a different data center anyway. So it makes sense.
They, of course, are continuing with various expansions. The Japanese data center expansion. They're going to be regrouping the worlds to hopefully increase the maximum number of simultaneous logins. I haven't had I haven't tried to log in the past few weeks, but even before then, I wasn't seeing as much of a queue when I tried to log in, but Japanese data centers might still be seeing a bit of that.
I see when I sign in, I think I have about a 10 to 30 person queue.
Yeah.
About 2 to 5 minutes.
But it does look like they're going to be aiming to increase that simultaneous login by about several thousand for each world. That'll be coming in July 2022. And depending on how things go, they might need to look at that for other ones. So this will kind of be a testing ground for how that'll work. Relatedly, or yeah, somewhat relatedly to that, they have the huge spikes in traffic have slowed down, so we've got a kind of more steady stream type thing. So they are looking to disable the automatic logout feature sometime in the near future, though they don't have an exact date on that. Hiring, doing some more hiring of French and German translators. So it looks like they want to improve a bunch of other little small things like that. And yeah, they close by emphasizing that patch 6.1 is going to be starting a new adventure. There'll be more information about that in the next live letter, but they really want to emphasize a lot of that excitement, that drama, and that kind of returning to those adventurer roots. So something to look forward to.
Very cool.
All right. But we don't have to wait until April to have ourselves a little bit of excitement, because just about a week ago, we had the release of Chocobo GP, which we're going to be playing and talking about a little bit tonight.
And I'm currently in the middle of getting the friend lobby set up right now. So thank you to everybody who is going to be joining us tonight. We're going to have Chili, Nicknar, and Ravenheart joining in this. So I'm just getting this set up real quick here, and then I will switch.
I'll talk a little bit about some of the specifications while you're getting that set up. So it has been released for the Switch. There's two variations. There is the full game, which is a standard retail product, $49.99. That gives you access to all of the different modes of the game. The large-scale 64-player tournaments, local multiplayer, and multiplayer with online multiplayer with your friends, all those different game modes. Even within that one, though, there are some components of the game that require in-game currency to unlock. As usual for this type of thing, there's going to be three different currencies. They have the premium currency Mithril, which you can earn some amount of a little bit at a time. You can also purchase directly with money. You have Gil, which is obtained specifically through Chocobo GP mode. That would be the large-scale 64-person tournaments. And you have tickets, which are obtained in a variety of different modes.
Yeah.
Usually with systems like this, the way they structure them is to encourage people to play certain types. For instance, you want to have something that incentivizes people to play Chocobo GP so that you don't have as much trouble getting up to the 64 players necessary to have a tournament. Side note, who was the developer that did... we talked about their name earlier. Arika. They previously worked on titles such as Tetris 99,
Pac-Man 99.
Pac-Man 99, so they do have experience with these types of large-scale multiplayer games. In addition to that, there's also a light edition, which is a free-to-play version. That one does not have quite as many of the game modes. It does include the storyline mode, as well as time attack, seasons, and custom races. It does let you play in Chocobo GP mode. It also allows you to play in local multiplayer, as long as at least one person in your friend group does have the full version of the game to act as the host.
But unfortunately, and what's kind of a bummer for me tonight is the fact that since Seyrr has the light version, he is not able to join into an online friend group. So, but he's going to be our color commentator tonight, and watch as we go through the. I was able to set
discuss
up
a little bit of the mechanics as well.
So what I've set up is a custom 8-race circuit with random maps.
All right.
I've set it to kind of on the beginner mode. There's two different modes of this. There's the beginner mode, just kind of like the 50cc if you're used to Mario Kart. Or there's also the master mode, which is kind of more like the 100 or 150. So I'm just waiting for Ravenheart to be ready, and we will start our first race. It is very similar. I mean, if you've ever played a kart racer like Mario Kart or the like, this is, very much going to be in that vein. You have your different race types. You have power-ups on the field.
That said, they did take a little bit more, added a little bit of Final Fantasy flavor to it.
There's a lot of Final Fantasy flair in this.
We'll see that as we actually get racing there. Raven, don't worry. I was watching Klauss, and it's not like he's a shining star here.
I suck at this game too. But you know what? For all of its downfalls, there's still a lot of enjoyment that can be gleaned from this game. So
Yeah.
let's.
There's a couple different aspects of it, and we'll get into some of them. But it looks like we're going to be starting off with a rift through Interdimensional Rift Omega. I am not getting the audio, by the way.
How about now? I think I know why. Give me a second here.
Yeah. And this would be for the Final Fantasy V location. So, of course, we have the crystal scattered throughout, the large trees. Oh, it looks like Klauss just got hit with a Doom spell, which requires you to attempt... Oh, nice move there. Which requires you to work quickly to try to shake it off, or else be hit with an instant death attack.
Quote unquote.
Yeah, no one ever actually dies in this, but now for those of you watching on the stream, you'll notice that when Klauss picks up an item, that it actually has 3 different little item slots, and that sometimes those slots...
I almost hit it again.
Oh! Yeah, those slots will sometimes combine. The item system in this one is called the Magicite system. As you collect those eggs, you get different spells rather than specifically items. One of the big points being that your spells can upgrade depending on what types of eggs you grab. Some of the eggs will guarantee upgrade a spell if you have one. Others will start you with a level 2 spell right away. So you might have a fire spell, which throws a fireball at an opponent, and as you upgrade that to the level 2 and 3 forms, you get a more powerful version of the fire spell. That may be a larger ball, may move in different ways, may do a lot more damage or knock people out for longer. So there's a little bit of strategic element in terms of determining whether you should be using an item right away, or whether you want to save it and try to upgrade it into something more powerful. You'll also notice at the bottom left of the screen, there's a Chocobo head-shaped gauge that is slowly filling up. This is a thing that powers each character's individual ability, in addition to the standard kart specifications such as weight, handling, speed. Each character has a special skill which allows them to change the tides of battle.
By the way,
It's
now
something
you
that
should be
adds a
able to
little-
hear the sound again.
Yes, it allows them to actually add a little bit of uniqueness to each one, gives us some of those iconic abilities. I had a list of them pulled up from earlier.
Again? How random.
Oh, another. This time hyperspeed.
Yep, so it's a little bit of a different layout of the track, I believe.
Yep.
Very random.
Oh.
Here we go.
Oh.
Yep, it is laid out differently.
Yep.
Oh, you sucker.
All right, and we have an early Quake spell there. Of course, the spell's fashioned after a lot of that classic Final Fantasy. You've got attack spells like Fire, Ice, and Lightning, as well as Arrow and Quake. Some of those utility spells, such as Magic Barrier or Warp. The Warp one is a really interesting one in that rather than just jumping you forward, it actually creates a set of portals on the track that anyone can use, and that it's possible to enter the exit portal and be flung backwards along the track.
Which is really crappy when you're trying to do good.
Yeah. It's a method that adds a lot of unexpected elements to this.
And it makes it actually quite fun. Plus, then you get to do this.
All right, and I see you've gotten yourself a Bahamut summon.
Yep. So basically, it's like the Bullet Bill in Mario Kart.
Yep, turns you into Bahamut, lets you charge forward without being hurt. The higher levels, of course, will last for longer. I do know that there's also an Ultima Spell available, though only when all of your Magicite slots are filled and you continue to gain power-ups after that.
And as Seyrr was talking about, you can upgrade your spells. As you see, I have a level 3 warp or speed boost, which then also gives me another random spell that I can utilize. And then I have my my power up that I used right across
and there's
the
a
line.
Brutal Quake on Ravenheart.
Sorry, Raven.
Cruel.
Sorry.
Cloud, of course, riding his iconic Hardy Daytona motorcycle.
Yeah, the Cloud is available through the season pass. You can which you have to purchase with Magicite, which is the only currency in the game that requires real money. The base level of that interdimensional rift again.
Huh.
It really likes interdimensional rift apparently.
Yeah, short version this time.
Yep.
It might also be if you just... Oh, that bit looks different. Interdimensional Rift Alpha? Is that different?
But anyway, that is, you can earn some for free. The issue with that is that can expire.
Yeah, so to go into a little more detail, this is actually a common trend we've been seeing in a lot of mobile games, where they'll have something, a battle pass or something similar, a period of a few days or several weeks, where you are earn points by playing the game, and as you earn those points, you get rewarded with various prizes. There'll often be 2 tracks of prizes, one that's available for free, and then a second track that is only unlocked if you spend the premium currency. In this case, of course, you do earn some free mithril, so theoretically it's possible to access that, but generally you can't consistently get the bonus track without needing to pay real money at some point. In the current season, Squall is available as one that can be gotten with Gil, so Gil earned from playing the 64-player mode. Cloud is available only on the premium season pass track. Which again, you can use the free mithril for this, but it's not something where you can necessarily hoard it, waiting for down the road for other characters to show up. I forget the exact time frame. I want to say it's something like 90 days.
And they made it sound like it's something that'll be available again.
Yeah, that is always one of the concerns with this type of time-limited content, whether there'll be another chance to obtain it. I mean, if I was someone who came to the Final Fantasy series and then was told, hey, you can never get Cloud because you weren't playing this game when it was first released,
it'd be kind of
a
annoying.
Disappointed there. Yeah. At the same time, if it's something that's freely available throughout, they don't have the time limit aspect that they often count on to encourage people to go for those premium ones.
Yep.
I get why the pricing model exists.
It doesn't mean we have to agree with it.
Yeah, one of the big things with not just the paid season pass, but with the concept of a battle pass. Oh,
Zoso.
Yep.
One thing you'll notice that the music for each track matches the location.
Yeah, they do have race-themed versions of the different tunes. I really appreciate that. But yeah, one thing that I know doesn't necessarily get discussed as much is that even with any type of battle pass thing, not just the season pass, one of the goals is to have it where you're playing a bit each day, where you're a kind of a repeat visitor.
Yep.
Which
they want to incentivize people continuing to play the game, you know, especially when they have a mode like Chocobo GP, which requires 64 people to complete the mode. So
yeah. Now, these types of mechanics, they can encourage mindsets that often lead to more addictive behavior. I know there's often, especially for something like this, where say you can only earn a certain number of points per day, there's a feeling of if you missed a day, it's not just that you failed to make progress, but that you somehow lost something, lost an opportunity or something like that. So
FOMO.
yeah, absolutely. So that can be a thing that really creates a strong psychological pressure to play. It's absolutely effective, which is why
You'll
which
see
is
in a
why so
second.
many. Oh, yeah. I'm watching the match on a little bit of a time delay because otherwise trying to set it up was just really technically complicated.
Yeah, it made things look a little bit odd. So unfortunately, we're dealing with what we can. You know, technical limitations, technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Yeah. Oh, got yourself a nice magic barrier there. Yeah, I really do appreciate the strategic element of the upgrading magicites. Like, that is the bit I feel that... Like, otherwise it feels like a reasonably standard racer, but that's the bit that turns is like, okay, there's an interesting strategic element here. The bit of, like, a lot more reasons why one might choose to hold a spell and use it at a later time.
Yeah, that is actually a really interesting mechanic of the game. If you look at Mario Kart, you have different weapons and items that you can gain through you know, playing it, you know, hitting the question boxes. And in some games, it allows you to have two different items, but you cannot combine them and make them into a more powerful version of itself. It's all RNG based on what you get. Here, you can be a little more strategic and improve the quality of the items that you are using.
Especially since the color of the egg determines whether it's going to be a single item, a level 2 spell, or a potential upgrade to a spell. So there's a little more strategy in terms of which box you aim for.
Went a little wide there.
I get why they have a lot of these systems, and I mean, so having some type of kart racer, especially when they is this actually Square's first foray into this style of game?
I don't know.
It might be. Got ourselves a portal there. Very nice. So I know for something like, say, like Mario Kart, that has name recognition that you're going to get plenty of people, that you're going to have a dedicated fan base for a long time, and so your online multiplayer is going to have lots of people in it. Matching isn't going to be nearly as much of an issue. For something that's not as established, you may have like the paid version with all stuff, but you don't know if you're going to necessarily be able to get enough people into it. And so one of the ways to help ensure that is to offer that free version, which is going to have those things that incentivize playing the ooh, nice. Which is going to have those things that incentivize playing the GP64 mode. And I mean, on its own, if you're not worrying about getting a special character or any of that other stuff, if you're just playing, it's a fun little racer that has lots of Final Fantasy elements. If you're not seeking out your favorite character or other things like that, it's fine. And for something that you get to download and play for free, it's not bad at all. So like, I understand where all of those different decisions came from. Yeah.
That one was a fun track, I have to say. The way that the corners worked with the sliding on that one, it actually felt really smooth.
Okay, there was a Chocobo racing game on PS1, Chili reminds us.
Okay.
So like, how many generations back?
Long time ago.
It's not nearly as much of a franchise.
At least I finished in front of Chili that time. But Nick Nar is still a lot. He's doing a lot of Chocobo GP, at the actual 64-person races. So
yeah. So I can understand you want to make sure that the people who are buying the game, that you're providing them something that isn't going to. Did you get? You've got. This time it's the long version. How many tracks have you unlocked?
Apparently not enough. Well, actually, I'm in part 7 of the story, or chapter 7. So.
Yeah, I saw you racing in Alexandria earlier.
Yep. Oh, you suck.
Go for Ultima. Go for Ultima.
No, I want to send that off against Nicknar first.
Okay. I just want to see Ultima.
Actually, I think it went up to Chili, so. Oh, yeah?
Oops. Well, I do love that version of the Dimensional Rift music. Yeah, I know you've mentioned a couple weirdnesses with the controls.
And I'll get more into that once we're done playing the game. It is difficult
maybe not while
to
you're in the midst
discuss.
of racing. Oh. And ooh, we've got quakes all over the place. Reapers flying right and left. Yeah, it does retain that super cuddly, cute Chocobo aesthetic.
Ah, that was a waste of a boost.
Yeah. Some of these spells, of course, allow for some really interesting combinations. I remember earlier watching Klauss in a race where two people put warps down, one in front of the other, and so people who entered the first one popped out of the exit, which the exit of the second one was right in front of, and so went in and got sucked right back, and the thing ended up being a massive time waste.
It was hilarious.
Yeah. As someone who was watching it, it was pretty funny. I tried not to laugh too much because it looked kind of brutal for Klauss, but...
Unfortunately, Nicknar was way too far ahead for me to catch him.
Damn, Nicknar. You're good at this.
We're gonna have to give him like make him use just one hand or something. You can only use one Joy-Con now, Nicknar.
Chili was mentioning that at the moment, Chocobo is considered one of the best characters. Chocobo and Terra.
Yeah,
I did see Terra earlier, right? Racing in her Magitech armor.
Terra is a good one. I'm using Cloud because I like his agility. But yes, Chocobo is probably the most well-rounded.
Ooh, the big bridge.
Yes, the short version.
How big a bridge can it be if it's a short version?
Well, there's multiple bridges or multiple parts of the bridge. This is actually a very fun track.
I would expect no less for the big bridge.
It splits.
Oh.
That's one of the things I like about this one is the fact that it is, multiple paths.
And you can see X-Death's castle in the distance. Perfect. Oh, there's Sildra! Yeah, I actually have the heads. Oh, Fork Tower! Yeah, I actually have the time and wherewithal to notice more of these details right now.
Yes. I'm just trying to catch up to Nicknar.
I mean, last I saw, he's loaded up with a pretty good spell, so... Yeah, those crystals that you're picking up, in addition to enabling your speed, they also do fill a gauge that lets you work towards those ticket rewards. But yeah, something that allows you to, strongly encourages you to play a bit each day rather than just do one big binge, tends to be more effective in creating those habits and creating that addictive behavior.
I was much closer to him that time.
Yeah?
As you can see, the game actually is fun.
Yeah.
It's a good time. I hope that you're all having fun, watching it.
Listening to me commentate on various aspects.
It does.
I don't know if this is actually interesting for you people.
Well, I guess we're hoping it is, but we're trying something new tonight, so bear with us. But do let us know if it's something that you find interesting. For those of you listening on the podcast, the audio feed, it may not be as interesting, and it's going to be
Which is why you should join us
live at twitch.tv/Phoenix Star Radio.
Yeah, listen to me commentate about game design.
This is the last one, and it's the Gold Saucer.
Ooh.
Kenner looks very Rainbow Road-ish.
Oh yeah, it's totally got that color scheme going on. Oh, and there's from the speed square. Oh my god, it actually kind of looks like the Chocobo track at the Gold Saucer in FF7. The Ghost Hotel. Mog House! You can see the Mog House arcade game! Oh my gosh, there's little references hidden all over there. Oh, Raven, I'm glad you're having a good time.
Oh, we both got hit there.
Oh, big fire wave.
That's Ifrit's. Ah! So now we use this. That's why I said it kind of gives Rainbow Road vibes.
It wouldn't be a Rainbow Road type if you didn't plummet at least 4 or 5 times. Nice warp. That was lucky.
Lucky? What are you talking about? That was planned.
Sure it was.
Oh, that wasn't planned.
Oh. Oh. Like, just looking at some of them, looking at that strange lightning rod festoon one Ramu's driving. They're definitely keeping the aesthetic of the Chocobo games here. The entire thing has a bit of a goofy, silly feeling that's oddly appealing.
Oh, that corner. Holy crap, that's evil.
Oh. Oh, Manticoras. How did they take the Gold Saucer music and make it even more frenetic? Boom.
Gotta catch up to Ravenheart. Oh, that was a nice warp that you used right there.
Mm-hmm.
Nicely done.
Well timed. Yeah, the warp as a way to shortcut some of those awkward track segments is kind of interesting.
Yeah. And where they put it, oh, just nice.
No, that was masterfully executed. Well done.
Yeah, because if I had tried to gone for it and missed, yeah, I would have just fallen off the edge.
That is one of the interesting things about the warp. Like, you come out of it not necessarily with the curving or drifting that you'd want to be doing. All right. And we got ourselves a Black Mage Festoon Chocobo on the winner's podium there.
Damn you, Nick Nar!
Job well done.
But that is the online mode with basically creating a friends invitation list. So you can invite as many friends as you have, and as long as they own the full game, they can use that mode. Otherwise, there is local co-op available as well. I'll go through some of the different modes here real quick. So as you see, I created a friend match where I created the lobby, or you can enter a lobby if you've been given a code for one.
I was wondering about that. I noticed there was that license plate on Squall's card. It's the one that he drives at the end of Disc 1 when he's doing the assault on the Sorceress Parade. I was wondering about that.
All right, so Chocobo GP, this is the large 64-player mode. Random people on the internet that you're playing against. 8v8v8. You have to finish in the top 4 in order to advance to the next round. Multiplayer, where we're just at, has not only the online mode, but the local multiplayer, where you can play with people on your same network. So, oops, that's not what I wanted to do.
A cute little song.
The shop, which we'll talk about in a second. The story mode. Time attack, which allows you to go after different speed records on different tracks. The series, which is going to be like your cup races. This is where you go into 4 races and you try and finish as high as you can, all like the Mushroom Cup, Star Cup from Mario Kart. And then custom racing, where you can set up your own parameters for a race.
Yeah. Time Attack series and custom races are available to the free players, along with, I believe, the first few chapters of the story. I don't think it's the full story.
I'm not 100% certain, but I know you do have story mode available to you.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the biggest issue with the game.
Yeah. This is the one that mostly comes up in the reviews because, again, it's the bit that's been kind of controversial.
It's the monetization of a paid game. And it's not a nickel and dime thing. Magicite can get kind of expensive.
Yeah, right now we are looking at the ticket shop. There are, of course, 3 different currencies, each with their own shop. Ticket shop seems to be mostly, so you've got racers that you can unlock and then some of those cosmetics.
Yep. The Mithril shop, sorry, not Magicite. The Mithril shop is the real world money variant. For instance, if we want to see how much it actually costs, you can go into the store. I'm not going to do that right now because it requires me to sign into my Nintendo account. I really don't want to do that right now. I believe it's $10 for 1,000 Mithril.
I will actually go ahead and verify that.
Is the rough cost of it. There is currently a promotion where you can get 800 Mithril for $7.99 with a bonus 800 Mithril for free. And then there's a 200 Mithril pack for $1.99 with a bonus 200 Mithril for free. So you're basically getting half price Mithril, so you can get 2,000 Mithril for $10.
Yeah. Yeah. The cheapest one is $10 for 1,000 Mithril, so about $1 gets you 100. Mm-hmm. And then the most expensive pack is $82 for a little under 12,000 Mithril.
Yep, they do give you some bonus the more you buy, but that's a lot of money. $84
for this game. Yeah, that one ends up being
that's a collector's edition game.
That ends up being about $1.40 per 100 Mithril, or no, 140 Mithril per dollar. Yeah. So like, technically more efficient, but also, yeah, you are outputting a lot at that point.
And you're using it to purchase your season pass at this point.
It looked like there's other stuff that's available with Mithril, but
that is the number one thing people are going to purchase. Whether it's in the free game and you buy the base pack for $800, or if you have the full game, they give you the privilege of buying the boosted pack for 2400 mithril, which boosts you up to level 60. And yes, I did that.
So yeah, Chili mentions that there was some apology mithril for a technical issue, and that you do get some amount free per login. As mentioned, that mithril does eventually expire. It's only the paid one that is permanent. I want to say the expiration time is somewhere around like 3 months, but it does mean that it's not necessarily as feasible to hoard it for a long time, waiting for the one specific thing you want.
Correct.
It sounds like they want to encourage people to use it and to play and to not necessarily hoard it.
I mean, if you're only getting 200 mithril a month for free, I mean, you might be able to get your season pass once every 4 months.
Yeah.
So they are really, really trying to get people to put more money into this game that we've already put $50 into.
Yeah.
So that is the number one complaint.
Yeah. I am not quite sure how much of that was necessarily the intent on the design. There's a lot of other dynamics going on. As I mentioned, there's the whole having a free version that will encourage people to play so that you keep having your 64-man races actually have enough players. Mm-hmm. If it's not an established property, that might be something that they're very worried about. That you get a bunch of people who start it, and then a lot of them drift off after the first week or two, and then those who are really enthusiastic about it start to feel burned because they only got so much time before they couldn't find races. I am reasonably sure that's a scenario they're trying to avoid. And this way has the peripheral benefit of, hey, you have people who will spend money that they may not have otherwise, but it does also come off as a bit of a money grab. Given that stuff like Pac-Man 99 and Tetris 99 did not have these kinds of microtransactions, and that we've seen these sorts of things in a lot of other Square Enix mobile games recently, I know a lot of people are worried about this kind of mindset and design coming to more games, and it's something that they're concerned about.
So yeah, that is, kind of our thoughts on the game.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's fun, it's cute. It's not without problems.
Yeah. If it's something where you just want to have fun racing and you're not necessarily attached to, I must get this particular thing, you can get the free or paid. And if you've got a group of friends that you enjoy playing with, it might be worthwhile for someone to get the paid version and then you do local multiplayer together. Yep. Or for several of you to get it if you're online friends.
Exactly.
But once you do start getting to the point where you really care about, okay, this character is my waifu or husbando, I need to have them. Okay, I really want to get all these collectibles, stuff like that. That is the point where it starts being susceptible to some of these more predatory practices.
I'm just glad they don't have a gacha option in this. That would be I would be very angry if the new racers were gacha style.
I did see Octopath Traveler apparently is having a game that will be coming to mobile, and that one, I believe, like it says something like 64 characters at launch, so there's no way there's not gacha in that.
Exactly, and that's something that Square Enix does with its mobile properties. Is it is very, very RNG based as to how you get your units.
I mean, that's a thing for the industry in general at this point.
Yeah,
I don't like it, but it also brings in the big bucks, so I understand why a lot of companies that otherwise might be like, we don't necessarily like doing this, will take a deep breath, hold their nose, and rake in the cash.
I mean, it's more. I'm not gonna say it's fine, but it's more of a standard practice for mobile. The fact that they're putting it into a console game, that's what I think what has a lot of people turned off. As far as the microtransactions, I mean,
the Switch kind of exists in a weird spot on that. Whether it's like a portable and mobile are kind of different. Are they different?
Yeah, they're different.
I feel like that line's getting blurred at this point.
But
yeah, I think there's a bit of a concern that seeing this migrate onto other type of systems, that it's no longer just the province of phone games.
But we'd like to hear your thoughts. I mean, have you played Chocobo GP? What do you enjoy it? What things do you think need to be improved? What things do you really, really like about it and hope that they keep in there and just double down on? Just let us know. You can tweet at us at PHXDN Radio on Twitter. You can email us podcast@phoenixstormradio.com. You can hit us up in the Discord and chat with us there. So.
And Chili just redeemed a highlight message that he'd posted a video on Twitter where during the race he was in 6th place, and then the race randomly ended and it said that he was 3rd.
Wow, that's crazy.
I wonder if there's just some kind of glitch with the online thing. I know that sometimes when there's disagreement between what the client sees and what the server's getting reported to it, you can get those weird effects.
Yep. Who knows? It could just be like you said, a weird network thing. If it was a GP race, especially, or if it was just a random race, who knows? But
I know it's especially the case for fighting games, but for any kind of online game, they live and die by their netcode. So that's something that I'm sure they're going to be keeping an eye out for and deploying fixes and patches as necessary.
Right.
Oh, and he mentions that his character had the crying animation, but the victory music was playing, so it was a little bit of a weird situation.
Talk about melancholy. But it
wasn't first. What do you mean A-?
And on that bombshell, that's going to go ahead and do it for this episode, guys. If you liked what you heard, please consider to like, subscribe, or follow us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, YouTube, or whatever your preferred podcatcher is, and if possible, leave us a rating or review. It not only lets us know how we're doing, but it helps other people find our show. If you really dig this show, please consider subscribing to us here at twitch.tv/PhoenixStormRadio, where you get access to a number of subscriber-only emotes and badges. Or you can join us out on patreon.com/PhoenixStormRadio and support us out there, like our benevolent overlord Rory Fenrir or our shadowy foreign investor Tibby and Salts. All the proceeds that go towards growing the show cover things like hosting costs, allow us to do some giveaways, improve our equipment, some fun stuff and some important stuff. It's nice when you guys are able to help us, keep the show going. But any kind of support, whether it's likes, tweets, retweets, follows, subs, whatever, it's all greatly appreciated. We really do love interacting with you guys and doing fun stuff like this. Like I said, if you want to check out our backlog of episodes, you can go out to our website, phoenixstormradio.com. And like I said, if you have questions, suggestions, comments, feedback, you can email us podcast@phoenixstormradio.com. And for those of you listening out on the podcast, I do recommend going out to youtube.com/PhoenixStormRadio and watching the video version of this if I can figure out a way to cobble it together.
Yeah, those glitches were not great.
It might end up being a 3 videos going up.
Or maybe we could just do like a highlights reel or something.
We'll figure something out. Or you can always check out the VODs on Twitch. So, any shout outs, Mr. Birthday Boy?
All right, yes. So first off, shout out to all of you who have wished me a happy birthday today. Very much appreciated. My birthdays tend to be fairly quiet and low-key, but I always really appreciate those of you who remember me and wish me well on it. It really is nice. Thank you. Special shout out to my friends Jay and Kelly, who have organized a trip for this weekend. Partly my birthday, partly also celebrate the spring equinox, where we're going to have a nice beach bonfire. They apparently even made a cake. I'm looking forward to it.
Ooh, cake.
Yeah.
I like cake.
And yes, shout out to all of you who gathered with us tonight. Honestly, doing the commentating, talking about what's going on, I had a lot of fun with it. Just getting to talk about whatever came to mind. I was having a blast. I don't know about you guys.
New future for you?
Dude, I'm pretty sure everyone already knows I like talking.
Well, that's the reason why you're on the podcast.
To shut me up. Woo! So yes, shout out to all you wonderful people. You can find me on Twitter at FF14Seyrr. That's FFXIV SEYRR. I also regularly monitor almost any of the Discords that have a lore forum at this point. I've kind of just been stalking Anonymous. He knows. He doesn't mind. It's great.
Seyrr the lore whore.
I like talking. People need information. See, Nicknar, I could hit my mute, but I would still be talking. You just wouldn't get to hear it. And what a loss for mankind that would be. Thank you for not immediately collapsing into laughter. right. I think that's about all I've got. So, Klaus, how about you?
Shout out to the birthday boy. Again, happy birthday. I really hope you have a wonderful time celebrating with your friends this weekend. Shout out to Nick Nar, Raven, and Chili for joining me in the race today. I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Shout out to everybody at Anime Detour coming up this weekend. I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody there, having a good time, getting into my cosplays again, and just, you know, having a good time. Hopefully we'll get some cool pictures. I am going to be bringing cameras so we can maybe get some interesting videos out of it. We'll see how it all goes. I've
seen some of your back and forth in the Discord planning it, and I gotta say, like, I'm a little excited, and I'm nowhere near the place.
Well, I mean, you should always plan on coming up sometime. Maybe once the world settles down a little bit.
I do get more vacation time now.
Exactly. So
I should check if there's a cap on that. Anyway.
And if you can, you'll definitely want to follow me out on Twitter at PHXDN_KLAUSS, where I will be posting some of the fun stuff from this weekend. So make sure to look for that. So for my co-host, Seyrr Timono, I am Klauss Nightbringer, wishing everybody a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for sticking around through all of the shenanigans tonight, and we will see you on the next one. Take care.
Phoenix Down Radio is a production of PhoenixDownRadio.com and Illusion Productions. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square Enix. In-game content for Phoenix Down Radio is the copyright of Square Enix. Opening music for Phoenix Down Radio is provided by Guilty Gear Rock You. Check out the Metal Chocobo theme cover and many other music videos at youtube.com/Guilty Gear Rock You. Closing music for this episode is provided by Guitar Wanker 90. Please check out their full version of Matoya's Cave and other rock video game covers at youtube.com/Guitar Wanker 90. The views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of Phoenix Down Radio and its hosts and do not reflect the views of Square Enix.